Good Lovers, it's Katrina of the Good Luck Project, and today is day 18 of my 30 days of medibation. So, for those of you tuning in for the first time, medibation is a solo tantric sacred sexuality, mindful sexuality practice, combining meditation and masturbation. So, it's sacred self love. And I've been at it for 18 days. I've got 12 more days to go after this. And I'm doing a session daily and then sharing my experiences and my observations, or just little tidbits of information on Facebook Live and YouTube. So this leg of the journey, I've been focusing on pelvic floor wellness. And continuing with that today, I decided to use my yoni egg. I know that yoni eggs are starting to pop up in the media more and more often. Yes, use them. No, don't use them. They're hearing a lot of different stuff. Gwyneth Paltrow is all about them. Regina Hall was talking about them on Conan last year, which I thought was pretty cool. The way that some of them are talking about them, I'm not in full agreement with, but we'll get to that. Whether you choose to use, stone or crystal yoni eggs, jade eggs, Benoit balls, or something made out of body-safe glass or metal or medical silicone wrapped Kegel orbs. I don't care. I think it really all depends on what your intention is and what you're comfortable with. So use the tool that's for the job that you're trying to do. So, if you're mostly focusing on just physical, like fitness, pelvic floor fitness, use whatever you want. If you're really into crystal healing, if you're kind of woo and that's your jam, like, go for it. There's ways to be safe about it. I sell them. I use them. You can message me and ask me about them. There's tons of information out there, and I'm always happy to talk about yoni eggs. My yoni egg, actually, I'll show it to you. There's mine. Oh, it's so pretty. It's a lovely aventurine, and I actually have a set. So I have matching Benoit balls as well. And I keep them on my altar, so they're always charging. And then I do my practice with them, so then they all juiced up with my sexual energy. And then they go on my altar, so then my altar gets juiced up from that. So it works out nicely. The point of using these tools is that they add weight, resistance, and focus to your pelvic floor exercises. So they can be a really great tool for health and for pleasure when used correctly. I don't recommend wearing them for hours at a time, just popping one in and going around all day with it. I definitely don't recommend sleeping with them in there. I think it's good to use them during your exercise or your meditation session, whatever it is that you're doing for that short period of time that you're actually using them, and then take them out and clean them and put them aside. Because you wouldn't walk around with, a barbell in your hand all day, right? Like, it's a tool. It's not, most women do not, most vagina owners do not need to have a pessary all the time. Some do. If you experience prolapse, then you may need something. And if you need internal support, that's something that you should be getting from your OBGYN or your midwife. Something is created for that purpose. The average vagina owner does not need to and should not be wearing something in there all the time. But they are great for their proper use. And I do think they're really nice to have for meditation, especially if you're working with sexual energy or root sacral chakra energy. So, and they're also fun. You can also just use them for pleasure as well. So for my practice tonight, I warmed up with pelvic floor breathing, which I talked about, what was that, day 15, day 14, a couple days ago. And then I began my microcosmic orbit, which was much earlier videos. If you go back to the beginning of this series, you can learn more about the microcosmic orbit. I then inserted my egg, which you always insert big side. Wait, you can't see. There we go. Big side first. See, I'm giving away little things. I inserted my egg, and then I started my internal pussy isolations that I mentioned in my video yesterday. So if you remember, we talked about the idea of the vagina having 3 chambers, the introitus at the bottom, the entrance, the area around the cervix being chamber 2, and then the part in the middle, kind of around the G-spot, posterior fornix area, as being chamber 3. So doing those isolations, and having something to actually like grip and squeeze around can really help the mind and body kind of connect with the exercise, and so then it makes that practice easier without the tool, whether it's an egg or a silicone orbs or whatever it is that you're using later, because it's helping you to really feel, because it's a very small motion, it's a very small movement, and so having something to actually to give you that tactile focus. Almost like if you can imagine being in yoga class and sometimes a teacher will come up to you and will just place hands on your body, and that helps you like really feel the alignment and sink deeper into your pose. It's like a little yoga teacher in your pussy. So so I had did my practice, I had my yoni egg in, I did my pussy isolations, I also practiced the orgasmic breathing, like the exercise I mentioned on day 12 from Urban Tantra. So moving and breathing ecstatically and using my voice to raise my erotic energy. And my orgasm actually started much more slowly and in a more subtle fashion than it has on other days today. But I found that it was also more encompassing and actually led to this very gentle full body orgasm that was kind of like just this like full body sigh and just a release, which was so nice. So I want to remind those of you that do not have a vagina, a yoni, a vulva, whatever word you like, a pussy. For those of you that do not have a pussy, you can do similar practices if you're wanting to do internal pelvic work with a butt plug or another toy that has a flange or a flared base. Please, do not ever use yoni eggs, Benoit balls, or anything without a flared base in your bottom. Please don't. That's a trip to the ER. Don't do it. But if you want to follow some of these same exercises, working with your pelvic structures internally, you certainly can. So just get yourself a nice butt plug. The Aneros is a really fantastic tool for working with doing interior pelvic work through your bottom. So something to think about. So I'm finding that since I've started this daily practice, I've gotten I'm a lot more relaxed. I actually like suffer from depression and anxiety, and I often have high anxiety most days, but I'm finding that I'm more relaxed and I'm able to be more focused. My sleep is generally more restful, so even though I still don't get quite as much sleep because I have a baby, and so that makes for interesting hours and I try to stay up later to get work done. I'm finding that my sleep that I do get is more restful. My creativity and my productivity has really increased. I'm gonna chalk that up to sacral chakra, like creative sexual energy. During intimacy, I'm actually able to sink into my body and become aroused faster, which is really nice. So that kind of preheating that I usually need, I'm able to like get going. I'm able to motor a lot sooner. And I've definitely become more bold and a little more comfortable, more confident. And that was one of the main goals of this 30-day practice, was to get past my fear of being seen and fear of being shamed. And I'm definitely feeling a difference around this. I'm getting online every day and talking about my self-love practice, which is pretty revealing. So I still have 12 more days to go. I'm looking forward to seeing where the next week and a half or so takes me. And after that, so probably in about 2 weeks or so from now, I'll be launching a guided 30-day solo Tantra Medibation challenge for any of you that are interested in starting your own practice. So keep an eye out for that, or you can also sign up for my How to Make Love Like a Yogini email list. I'll put the link in the comments. I would definitely love to hear from all of you that sign up for the 30-day and hear about how your practice is going, how your progress is going. If you've kind of started already jumping in on this 30-day with me, I always love to hear how things are working for you. You don't have to out yourself here in the comments. You can always message me. And so it's been an awesome almost 3 weeks. Got another week and a half to go. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and over the last 18 days. And until next time, keep on good living.